Hello, welcome to Revenant Reads. I'm Ben, and this is a used book haul in the middle of June 2024. So I have been, since summer has begun for me, I'm a teacher. I've been out of work for less than a week, but I still managed to hit up two different thrift shops just in my outings, just because I happen to be around, and picked up some books. So I thought I'd just kind of show you what I got, and if you've read these, maybe you could share your thoughts and let me know what to expect. I got actually all these for really good deals. For the majority of these, the hardbacks were $1, the paperbacks were 50 cents. So one of them I picked up. I don't usually pick up mass market paperbacks, but this one caught my eye enough. So we got Day of Infamy by Walter Lord, about, of course, the bombing of Pearl Harbor. And I had read last year Walter Lord's, was it Night to Remember, I believe, about the sinking of the Titanic. And I thought that was actually really good, engaging account of what happened the last hours of the Titanic. So I thought, give this a try. I believe this was originally published in Life magazine in various installments, and then it was published in book form in the late 1950s. And this edition dates from around 1970. So old mass market paperback, actually really good condition, I would say. I was surprised at how good the condition was for this. But it's something I'll check out, maybe for quarter four of Historathon. Maybe read this one, because I think it'd be a pretty quick read. And it does have, in the middle, some photographs. Historathon, if you don't know, is a year-long reading event where we read, discuss, and celebrate nonfiction history. We divide the year up into 4 quarters, each quarter looking at a different time period. The fourth quarter will fall into this. So from October, November, December, we look at the years 1820 up into the present. So this is a contender. I also found 2 very slim books, and these will be quick reads. I don't quite know when I'm going to read them yet, but the first one is this one, On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder, 20 Lessons from the 20th Century. Now, last year for quarter four of Historathon, in December, I had read Timothy Snyder's Bloodlands, Europe Between Hitler and Stalin, and that was a hell of a book. It was dark, it was grim, but it was excellently documented and written. It was depressing. It was rough stuff, but man, he did a great job just talking about the sort of nightmare world that area of Europe was. And so I am very interested to see what he wrote here. Now I remember seeing this when it first came out, but I didn't read anything by Timothy Snyder then. So now that I have read that, I'm far more intrigued. So this was published in 2017. Of course, the impetus, obviously, being the election of Donald Trump. So, now that we have another election season come up, I'll be sure to read this once again going forward, as that gets closer. Another politically charged book I found, Open Letter on Blasphemy, Islamophobia, and the True Enemies of Free Expression by Charb. Now, it says the posthumous manifesto by the editor-in-chief of Charlie Hebdo. So, in case people don't know, back in 2015, there was a weekly satirical magazine, Charlie Hebdo, which had published cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad. And 2 brothers associated with Al-Qaeda went in there with rifles, shot people up, including Charb, who was the editor-in-chief. And apparently he had written this, and it was set to be, set to be published, like pretty much almost like the day after or something like that. So he wrote this, he was murdered, and then we now have it. But these are his thoughts on essentially free speech, and how it relates to things like Islamophobia. And, so very prescient of especially a post 9/11 world, and what fears people were having, where to draw the line as far as human rights, and what sort of respect does religion deserve, and all that. So I'm interested to read this. Don't know really exactly what to expect. I may have an idea about what to expect, but it's been a long time since that event, almost 10 years, so it's not entirely fresh in my mind, but this will certainly catch me up, I think. Let me see. I also just found this as a hardcover, so actually nice edition, nice condition. I mean, hardcover. So this is Bernard Cornwell, Lords of the North. This is part of the last, or the Saxon Tales, that's what he calls it. The first one being The Last Kingdom. I know there was a Netflix series based on this, which I have not read, have not watched yet. I think I would like to read the series first. And I think this might be the third one. I believe I have a couple of them. I actually have this in like a messed up paperback. I have a couple of them in paperback form and one hardcover one as this series. So as I go through these secondhand stories, I'm slowly kind of building the series and collecting things. So when I saw this for $1, pretty good condition hardcover edition, I couldn't pass it up. Anglo-Saxon England is one of my favorite time periods to read about. And I am not somebody who is extensively read in historical fiction. I read a lot of historical nonfiction, but I'm planning to get into more historical fiction. Now, I have, over the last couple of years, read more of that sort of thing, but this is definitely a series I want to dive into probably next year. This year I'm focusing on the banned book challenge, reading banned books, but I think next year might be a year for historical fiction. I guess sticking with the historical fiction theme, I found this and for 50 cents. This is Bruce McBain's Roman Games, a Plinius Secundus mystery. So mystery set in ancient Rome. I am not extensively read on mysteries, and like I just said, I'm not extensively read on historical fiction, but figured, hey, if I'm going to be diving into either of those, this would be a good contender. In March, there is a very popular booktube event called March Mystery Madness. So maybe in March, I will end up reading this for that. I believe I've seen Steve Donahue talk about these, and this might also be what I've seen Mark with from Booktime with Elvis talk about. I think there are other people who maybe write ancient Roman mysteries. So I don't know if this is the exact author or series, but if it is, they spoke pretty highly of it. So if either of them see this, they can correct me if I'm wrong. But this looks like it'll be a fun read. And last two are history books. This one's Scottish Kings by Gordon Donaldson. Another kind of older book. This was originally published 1967, and this edition was from 1992. And this just, it's just really an overview of the Scottish monarchy. That's the table of contents there. For quarter 2 of Historathon this year, I did read a book about Robert the Bruce, which I really enjoyed. So, I'd like to see what happens after him, and it looks like it will be a volume that won't take that long to read. So I think next year for Historathon 2025, I'll probably read this one for quarter 2. And lastly, we got this one in really good condition. David McCullough, The Pioneers, the heroic story of the settlers who brought the American ideal west. I've read, I think, 2 of David McCullough's books. I read John Adams, which I thought was excellent, and 1776, which I also enjoyed. But I haven't read really his other stuff. I haven't read anything by him that wasn't set in the colonial era. So, yeah, I know that he's obviously a very celebrated writer, or, was at least. I know he's passed. But this deals with, was this late 18th century and then into the 19th century, I think. Could be wrong about that, but I think that's what it is. And, yeah, it's David McCullough. Can't wait to get into this. This is a contender, I guess, for quarter 3, possibly. I got a lot of contenders, so never know what I'll get to. But if you've read any of these, as always, I would certainly love to hear what you think. So I'll make a pile here. As a quick reminder of the things that I've hauled. So we got On Tyranny by Timothy Snyder, Day of Infamy by Walter Lord. We've got Open Letter by Charb, Scottish Kings by Gordon Donaldson, Roman Games by Bruce McBain, Lords of the North by Bernard Cornwell, and finally, The Pioneers by David McCullough. As always, thank you, BookTube.